So with the help of a patron of ours and help of a couple of friends, I decided to start working with OLIGHT, who have contacted me in the past about doing some videos for them. And I wanted to get a solid idea who this company was. And like I said, a patron has had amazing luck with them. A couple of my friends are running OLIGHTs, and I'm asking these guys, like, how do you like these things? Are they holding up for you? And all of that kind of stuff, and everybody I talk to loves them. So I decided to take the plunge here. It's actually a really good time to do that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. But I want to tell you what I did with this light and where I can see this light really fitting into like an EDC schedule or home defense or something like that. So thank you to our patrons, of course, the entire SHOT team, and our $5 and up power patrons, which is who you're seeing on the screen. If you like your name to pop up on the screen or catch one of our other perks, make sure you join the link down below and you can come over and join the SHOT team. We'd love to have you. Let's go ahead and get started. So what you're going to get with the OLIGHT packaging, by the way, you don't have to worry about coronavirus. That's pretty much been, because it's something I asked because I knew it would come up. You don't have to worry about packages coming from China and getting the coronavirus, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. Pretty nice packaging. Let's go ahead and pull it out. Of course, they give you a little thank you or whatever. This is going to show you what you need to do before you do anything else. The charger. I'm going to actually talk about this here in just a second, I promise. There's the flashlight, of course, with your holster. And then in here, all you have is you have your instructions, which are decent. And you have a lanyard right there, which I don't ever really use. So let's get the box out of the way because it's kind of a nightmare for the camera and the lights and stuff. They also give you some specs on the back of this package if you were wondering. All right, so get that to the side. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of this. Of course, you got your holster here. And here's your flashlight. This is, again, a good time to review this thing because they have their special edition OD green right here, which will be available March 13th, 2020. So if you're watching this in the future, this will not be available because this is a limited run. But a really nice finish, this OD green. It's not a flat and it's not gloss. It's got that semi-gloss to it, and it's a really nice coloration, man. I love the OD green that they put on here. I think it mates up well with this aluminum housing. So specs here really quick. You're talking about 6.3 ounces with the battery included, 1.1 inches in diameter, and right at 5.25 inches in length. So it's got a nice reversible pocket clip here. All right, so you can take this off, flip it around if you would like to do that. I also like these clips because of the way they're designed here. You can actually take this and put it on the brim of your hat if you just need to free up your hands or anything like that. And again, it has a nice strong clip, but I carried a Phoenix like this, very close in this size. I've carried Streamlights like this in my pocket, and not only do they get prematurely scratched up a lot, it just can become very uncomfortable. So what I did is I was just carrying around in this holster, and I'll be honest with you, I like it. It's very quick to access the flashlight with just very minimal practice. It's easy to just get it in and out there. Nice little buckle, and you press to activate it and it comes right up. And then, of course, you have your adjustable loop on the back that you can just snap on and off. Little D-ring right there. So yeah, this is the way to go if you're going to carry this every single day, in my opinion. Going over some more features of the light, of course, you have this self-defense head right here. All right, if the worst possible situation comes and you need to give somebody a jab with that thing, it is not going to feel well, or maybe even break a window or something if you're in some kind of an emergency. So that's pretty cool right there. You have your side activation switch here. This side switch has two modes here. So the first one being, because of the spot that it's in, if you want to actually hold it like this and move around, if you're out in the woods, you need to find your way back to your vehicle, or you're looking for something in your vehicle, whatever the case may be, whatever you use your light for, this is a nice feature right here. You press and hold it for your Moonlight Mode, which is 1 lumen, which you may be thinking, like, am I ever really going to use that? But it's really nice if you like wake up in the middle of the night and you want to check on the kids, or you want to just do anything where you don't want 1800 lumens in your face. This actually comes in handy. So I have come to appreciate this more. But that's a single lumen. I think it lasts for 50 days on a single charge at 1 lumen. but then you can just press it. All right, so if you just press it, it's going to go to your last known setting or your last, whatever you had it on before. So if you press and hold this while the light is on, now you get to go through all of your settings. So let's start it over from the top. So right there, you're going to be on low, which is 15 lumens. Here, you're going to be on 60. And I'm going to be outside doing this, so you actually get the idea. Right here is 250, and high is 750. All right, so whatever it was before you turned it off, when you turn it back on, that's what it's going to be, just with the single press of the button. And then also this switch acts as a battery charging indicator. So when it's on green, you're going to have 75% of your battery life and up. When it's on orange, you're going to have anywhere from that 74% down to about 30. When it's on red, you're going to have less than 30%. And when it's blinking red, you're going to have 10%, less than 10% of your battery remaining. So a nice little feature there. The tail cap is where things get interesting. And one of my favorite features on this thing is the charging capability. So it is a regular USB, of course, and it does come with it, obviously, but it's just magnetized. So you pop it on there. This is going to activate red if it needs to be charged and green when it's done. And that's it. I love this. And the reason I say that, the reason I'm so like giddy over a charger is because I've had flashlights in the past where you have to remove a little rubber flap, put your micro USB down in there, and those rubber flaps, I swear, they last like a month, maybe if you're lucky. So it's really annoying, and you run the risk of getting dust and dirt and things like that down into the light. So that's never good. So I really like that design. That's pretty ingenious. So coming back, of course, you have some heat deflection here, which I am going to show you a heat test here in a minute. And then coming back here, you have your dual pressure activated tail switch. So what I mean by that is you have your momentary on, and then you can press in, and that'll give you a momentary high, which is 1800 lumens there. If you just press it, halfway press it in, that's going to be your high setting at 750 lumens, and your turbo at 1800. If you press and hold it in really quickly, then you're going to have your high of 1800 lumens. And this is programmable a couple of different ways, not too many. So basically you have the option of running this just like what I just showed you, where you halfway press in and then you fully press in for your high, or you could set it up with a strobe setting if you prefer doing that way. But I actually like it better like this. The way that I have mine set up for strobe is the side switch here. You press it 3 times in quick succession, and there's going to be your strobe, and it is super bright. All right, so using this as a home defense light is definitely capable. Now, I told you we were going to be running some tests on this thing, and what I did is I ran it over the course of 2 nights. The first time I ran this, it was 1 hour and 20 minutes, and the only reason I cut the test right there is because my GoPro died, and I didn't have another battery. So what I decided to do is I was like, well, this may actually be better. So I let this sit overnight, didn't charge it, just let it sit there. The next night, I came back, actually at 8:43 p.m. the following night. At 9 o'clock, the red light was on, at 9:09 actually. At 10 o'clock, it was blinking red, and at 10:30, the light had shut off. So the first time I started the test at 9:30, by 10:01, obviously, it was already orange, because you're only really going to get about 5 minutes of full battery life with this thing on turbo. But the times that you get after that are way more impressive. All right, so at 10:01, it was already orange. At 10:33, still orange, and at 10:53, it was still orange, but that was when my GoPro died. So I got a total of 3 hours and 7 minutes, and that's 187 minutes total. OLIGHT is claiming 195 minutes on turbo. So that at 1800 lumens over 3 hours, very impressive. On high at 750 lumens, you're going to get 200 minutes. Medium 1, which is 250 lumens, you're going to get 10 hours. Medium 2, you're going to get 60 lumens at 40 hours. And low, 15 lumens, 130 hours. Very impressive run times. So it passed the first test, I would say. The second test I did was a water test, and I let it sit in a 5-gallon bucket of water for an hour. So no, I didn't drop it down to the bottom of the ocean floor to sit with the Titanic and then bring it back up to see if it would work. That's unreasonable, but it is IPX8 certified, waterproof, water resistant, whatever you want to say, which is going to give you over 30 minutes, obviously, at more than a meter in depth generally. So I kept it in there for an hour, let the GoPro run on it, and it worked just fine. Also did a drop test. So they're claiming 4 feet as far as the drop resistance. So I did it at about 4 feet, or I did it 3 times in a row, and the light stayed on just fine. So I will say, for all of my little tests that I ran, the OLIGHT performed fantastically. And what I'm showing you right now is some clips from us actually being outside. And the difference between all of the different modes makes a huge difference. So you have one where it's, yeah, everything's fine. I'm walking in the middle of the woods, got a little bit of light. Next thing you know, you have a freaking small baseball-sized spider under your feet and probably freaking out. So this light, not only does it do a really good job with the beam right in front of you, which they measure to be about 300 meters on turbo, but you have all of the surrounding light around you. You know, there are lights out there that I've used where the beam in front of you is really good, but the surrounding light is not great. This one gives you surrounding light and your main beam, which I really appreciate, especially when I see a freaking, spider like that in the woods. Now, if you're still not convinced, one more thing that I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to turn it on turbo, and then we're just going to test the temperature out. I'm going to hold it about 6 inches away from this thermometer, and just let you get an idea of how hot this thing gets. Now, what I noticed is that obviously up here where the LED is gets pretty warm, but back here the heat dispersion is so good that you don't even really feel it back there, which is what you want. Even in this position, obviously, I can't really feel any of that extra heat. So let's try it out here really quick. So right now it's saying right at 100 degrees, where the body is right at 97. If we do it just on the table's at 90. So it gives you a pretty good idea. It's 100 degrees. It's been on for, less than a minute. 105 now. $105.5, and it does not take long for this thing to heat up at all. Right now I can feel it, and at that point my hand is pretty uncomfortable. So I just read 120 initially, 123, 114, 120, 125. So yeah, it gets pretty steamy up here, but with that much light coming out of a flashlight this small, that's something that you're going to have to deal with. But again, over 3 hours and 7 minutes on high. So what I notice is, even right now, I notice that the heat pretty much comes all the way back to here, this little flat spot on the bezel, which again is a nice little feature because you can just kind of set it down and it's not going to roll away from you. Obviously the clip helps in that too, but just a nice little feature I found. Let's try it again. Yeah, about 125 degrees. But you come back here to the bezel, and you're about 16 to 20 degrees less. 128 now, 131. And depending on where I hit, you can see it's about in that 130 degree range. So it's going to be uncomfortable. If you prefer holding way up here for whatever reason, you're going to get yourself burned. But this heat dispersion back here works really good. And again, the light does get hot. But now you can see the orange is on. So basically you have about 4.5 to 5 minutes of runtime where you're going to get 100% charge, and then after that it's going to start to drop off. Their chart actually shows 145 minutes between this time of orange and the last 45 minutes of charging time. So it's going to stay orange for quite a bit of time, and that's something that I was able to reflect in my own test. So what they have here is the flash sale on the M2R Pro Warrior. I think it's awesome. Home defense, something that you can keep in your truck, something for everyday carry, and a holster like this that they provide, I think is an awesome option. Home defense, anything like that. They have a whole line of lights like this, and they're running flash sales on these. So normally they're $109. For today only, March 13th, 2020 only, they're running at $79.99 for this flashlight. I think that's a lot of bang for your buck. And I can tell you, I've paid for lights not nearly as nice as this for more money than that. So I can assure you of that. This is a really nice flashlight. And I'm going to leave a link down below. If you decide to buy one of these, use that link. And that helps out our channel, which is a pretty cool deal. And if you say, well, I like it, you know, I like what you're doing with this thing, but it's just too big for me. They also have this one right here. This is the i1R2. This is a rechargeable, super small flashlight, and this little thing is awesome, man. 125 lumens out of this, 2 different settings. You have your low, and then you have your high, and for just close-up kind of work, this thing, man, is great to keep on a keychain. So they actually threw this into the deal along with this at like 82 or 85 bucks. Normally these things are about 20 bucks on their own. So their flash sales that they run, pretty well known for their flash sales, that's for sure. And OLIGHT, I'm convinced, man. I am definitely convinced that this is an awesome company. On their flashlights, you actually have a 5-year warranty, and on weapon lights, you have a 2-year warranty. So I'm definitely impressed with these guys. So use that link down below. Again, you'll help support the channel and get yourself an awesome flashlight on a great deal. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.